And we're live! Hi, my name is Sophia Botha, and welcome to Botha Rants, the YouTube show where we go through all the latest political LGBTQ news of interest, or at least interest to me. And today is Monday, which means it's Ozma Monday. How are you doing, Ozma?
Hi, I'm Ozma in the dark. I'm planning on talking exclusively about World of Warcraft classic content.
No. We're going to kick this stream off with you telling us some interesting facts about Toronto. Yes.
Yes.
Ozma's been educating herself about Canadian geography because we found out, not this weekend, but the weekend previous.
Wait, you didn't say geography. You just said news.
No, I said that you needed to find out stuff about Canada because you seem to think that Canada...
Well, yeah, you said I need to find out stuff about Toronto. Interesting facts.
Yes. That was that. The aim here is that you, for the next few weeks, you're going to find out. I'm going to set you a Canadian city. Because believe it or not, there are more than 3, like you thought there were. She referred to anyone in Vancouver. She referred to Vancouver as that city out west, and Montreal as that little city. Despite the fact that both have greater populations than Minneapolis. Anyways, so
I'll own up to that. I'll own up to that mistake.
So I am setting a task to find out stuff about Canadian cities.
And you started with Vancouver.
No, Toronto.
Oh, I mean Toronto. God damn it. I don't know how my brain went that. I looked up information about Toronto. I did all this stuff about Toronto. Because I had forgotten to look up exactly where Toronto is, I opened up a map looking for Toronto, but apparently I blurted out Vancouver because, of course. So the most important thing, and because I'm a snarky bitch, I came up with the thing that you care about the least, the Toronto Raptors. And I realize I do have more to say about Toronto, but like the Toronto Raptors are won the NBA playoffs 2 years ago. Sorry, I think was 2019 or was it 2019 or 2020 season? Regardless, they're a fucking great team. You have Kyle Lowry, which I had heard his name, and for whatever reason, I didn't think about the Toronto Raptors.
I asked her to find out stuff about Toronto, and she's talking basketball.
Hey.
Okay, well, let's see if you can do better.
Well, there was an anti-gay bias that led to serious flaws in Toronto's serial killer investigation.
I was actually thinking about stuff to do with the actual city, but... I guess their basketball team counts, sort of. Anyway, so you found out a little bit about the Toronto Raptors. This is complete and utter fucking fail.
Well, and the anti-gay bias in the Toronto police
you could have said stuff like, I don't know, Toronto's Canada's largest city.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's true. It's got a population of...
What its tallest building is, famous people from Toronto. I mean, even I know famous people.
Kyle Lowry is, I mean, I don't know if he's from Toronto, but he is in the Toronto Raptors.
Yeah, she wants to tell us.
And so is Pascal Siakam and Fred VanVleet.
Right, anyways, okay, enough of this bullshit. Okay, next week you're going to find out stuff about Calgary, right? And keep it concise,
Okay.
And I'm going to ban you from saying Calgary hosted the 1988 Winter Olympics because everybody fucking knows that one. Okay. Right.
I wasn't going to mention anything with that because that's not recent. Like
Right.
the Raptors won a relatively recent NBA
Okay.
finals, and
Yeah.
they're like a fantastic basketball team. But
Uh,
also, the police, the police homophobia, not helping investigations is
okay. I'm going to
really
give you some more specific instructions. Give us
yeah.
a
Go
few
ahead.
bullet points next week about Calgary. Okay.
Okay, a few bullet points.
About Calgary. Okay. There you are.
Okay.
That's your task for the next week. Um, uh,
Okay.
Anyways, a couple of parish notices before we begin. There won't be a show on Wednesday. It's my birthday, and I've decided I'm having the day off. And there won't be a show a week today because it's the World Snooker Championship final. Yet again, I'm going to go and watch that. Snooker's one of my favourite sports. Anyways, we have a packed show. So let's get on with this bullshit. Right. Yes, today is Lesbian Day of Visibility. Now, I know there's going to be a few conservatives going, what do you need? What do you need a day for visibility for lesbians? We know the lesbians exist. Well, there's always Arica what's her name? Arica Scalia, whatever her fucking name is. You know, the one who goes around basically saying that trans women it's trans men are helping to erase lesbians.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
there's that.
which is basically a take on the far right Great Replacement conspiracy.
Yeah.
Which is bullshit. Plenty of lesbians in this world, and many and many I've known are fantastic fucking people. I myself am a lesbian. In other words, I'm a trans woman who's attracted to both trans women and cis women. And just to remind all the TERFs out there, yeah, trans women can also be lesbians. I know you don't think that, but they can be. And the vast majority of lesbians actually agree with me. Okay?
Yeah.
So, I mean, the thing is, TERFs get way too much fucking media attention than they deserve, because really they are pretty small, when it comes to their numbers.
Well, I mean, it's like a few hundred people who shout really fucking loud, and yeah.
Right, I don't know if you saw this. I'm going to have to give this a mention. This was pretty disgusting. So, to explain, there was an anti-lockdown protest in London on Saturday afternoon. First question I have is why? We're going to be out of lockdown in about 2 months' time. That's the plan. Restrictions are slowly being removed, and we're getting back to normal. That here's the thing, right? There's this. Some people seem to think that people like the lockdown. No, none of us like the fucking lockdown. The novelty wore off a long time ago, but we accept that it was a necessity, right? And these bunch of anti-vaxxers and anti-maskers, they're just inconsiderate bastards. I mean, thinking that being asked to wear a face mask is an Orwellian imposition is just fucking hyperbolic, asinine bollocks.
Yeah.
But anti-vaxxers, let me tell you something. Vaccines don't kill, but anti-vaxxers bullshit does kill, because if people don't take vaccines, they help spread plagues. Okay, right, but. It was photographed at this demo, but there were people wearing the yellow star, which of course was something Jews were made to wear by the Nazis. During Nazi Hitler's tenure in Nazi Germany and the Holocaust. And they were comparing the lockdown to the Holocaust.
Segregation of Jews into
No. They were
ghettos.
They were
having to wear not masks.
No, they were actually comparing. No, they were full out comparing it to the fucking Holocaust. That is fucking disgusting. Okay, nobody is being fucking. There is no mass industrial, murder going on, with the lockdown. That's what the fucking Holocaust was. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and it's not even like the build up to the Holocaust where Jews had to wear yellow stars and were put into ghettos. We're segregated into ghettos.
Right.
Like that hasn't even happened yet.
Yeah,
and it's like,
and basically this was the misappropriation of Nazi a symbol of Nazi persecution of the Jews. It's absolutely. As I said, I was lost for words when I fucking saw this. And there were other photos. I mean, if you follow me on Twitter, you can.
Well, I mean, I think that guy's look in the picture on the left, the guy with the nice turban, his look at that, his side glance at the old man with the sunglasses wearing that star, I think says it all.
But I hope,
in terms of
the other thing is, I hope these people are found out, named, and fucking shamed. Right? This isn't on. Okay, it really isn't.
Yeah.
To any Jew, that is fucking offensive. Okay. All right. So yes, the trial, the libel case against Tommy Robinson continues. Basically, this is somebody the account of the Jamal, the person Tommy Robinson accused of beating up other schoolgirls at the school he was at, when in fact that was completely untrue, and in fact this kid Jamal was actually bullied himself. A Syrian schoolboy had to flee his home and faced death threats after Tommy Robinson used social media to spread extremist views about him at a court heard. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. I mean, Tommy Robinson supporters are fucking keyboard warriors. Yeah, personified. They're not so brave when it gets out when there's a group of them. Oh, they're tough, right? I mean, what was his mate's name? Who harassed the then MP Anna Soubry outside Parliament. I forgot what his fucking name is now, but them with the yellow jackets, and they also were harassing Owen Jones. I love having Owen Jones' response. He says, "I'm going to go home and have some gammon." Anyways, it doesn't surprise me that he encouraged his far right, chavvy fucking knuckle dragging fuckwitted minions to go and dogpile on this poor kid. The English Defence League founder, whose real name is Stephen Yaxley Lennon, is being sued by Jamal Hijazi. The teenager was filmed being attacked in a playground at a school in Huddersfield in November 2018. Shortly after the footage went viral, Robinson claimed in 2 Facebook videos that Jamal was not innocent, and he violently attacks young English girls.
The conservatives loving to claim to be, saving the women.
Yeah. The 38-year-old also claimed Jamal beat a black girl. A girl black and blue. Yeah, beat a girl black and blue, and threatened to stab another boy at the school. Allegations the teenager denies. No proof. Tommy. On the first day of the libel trial in London on Wednesday, Jamal's lawyer told the court that Robinson's comments had a devastating effect on Jamal and his family. No shit, as I've already explained. and led to him being relocated from the area in early 2019. Yeah.
Yeah.
As I said, none of this fucking surprises me. I do think that Tommy Robinson is going to lose this case, particularly as he's pleading poverty, thus defending himself rather than getting a lawyer. You know, you can get a lawyer on the public purse if you're that poor, you know, Tommy. You know, but you're not that poor, are you really? You've just, you know, had all your assets put in your wife's name and deliberately divorced her so that, you know, when you do lose this case, you know, the bailiffs can't get at those assets to pay, you know, Jamal restitution. Anyways, of course, the big LGBTQ news over the weekend is Caitlyn Jenner has officially enters the Californian governor race as a Republican. Well, yeah, we knew she was a Republican.
Yeah. Of course she's a Republican.
Cringe, 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 cringe. Everything Caitlyn Jenner does is cringe. Okay, here's my rule on Caitlyn Jenner. All right, I will certainly defend her against when there are transphobic attacks on her. You know, and I have done so in the past. But I am not going to defend her politics. Not one bit. Okay? Now, let me explain something. I did try and go and find there were a couple of clips from that reality TV show she did, I Am Kate, right? Which there was a few discussions. If you saw the series, you'll know this. There was a few discussions between her and her entourage and the entourage of trans women she was traveling with about politics. One where Caitlyn Jenner basically said that people on welfare were fiddling the system, considering that a lot of trans women are on welfare because of discrimination and various other, you know, things to do with being trans. You know, that's pretty unempathetic. Then in the second series, and I think it was the first episode, and I only watched the first episode of the second season because you know, there was only so much I could put up with. Caitlyn Jenner had a tete-a-tete with had a bit of a row with Jenny Bolan about basically, you know, Jenny Bolan pointed out that the Republicans, they're also discriminating against trans people and have done fuck all for trans people, and Caitlyn Jenner sat there and said, "Oh, the Democrats are just as bad." It was cognitive fucking distancing at its worst. Okay.
Yeah, and I saw I think I saw a tiny bit of that conversation in the more recent wonderful trans documentary last year.
What, Disclosure?
Yeah.
Can't remember that clip being in there. Right, but I mean, obviously I've watched some of the series, so yeah, I see it. So this is a person who really can't relate to the issues which a lot of trans people are facing. You know, there have been various LGBTQ events she's been to. There have been protests against her. Yeah, because the very first episode of I Am Kate, she said, "I'm going to become a figurehead for the trans community," and it was like, well, you know, you weren't fucking elected, you know, Caitlyn. No, you're not. You know, just as you know, Natalie Wynn isn't. You know, but I value Natalie far more. What Natalie has to say, even if she does fuck up occasionally, over what you say, Caitlyn. Because unfortunately, hon, you've got a record of saying complete and utter shite. I mean, you know, they opposed same-sex marriage. That was another one. That obviously came out on the Ellen's chat show, wasn't it? she has described herself as a social conservative. What? I mean, the social conservatives in the fucking Republican Party absolutely despise you, Caitlyn. Yeah, you better check out what Lauren Witzke had to fucking say, because believe me, she'd have you burnt at the fucking stake if she had her fucking way.
Yeah.
I mean, so I've got a few things we can get into, a few video clips of the sort of stuff Caitlyn has said.
Caitlyn has said
Now,
cringe.
Sorry?
Oh, I said Caitlyn has said a lot of cringe.
Well, yeah, I found that whole I am Kate fucking cringe. Right? I really did. I found it when she came out at that fucking awards thingy. Right? Cringe. Right? I have to say, I just find a lot of what she does. There's a video she posted, a message to Donald Trump. Cringe, cringe, cringe. Everything, I should call her Cringe Jenner. She doesn't do the trans... Her antics actually don't do the trans community any fucking favours. Sorry, they don't. She is a very... She has white privilege. She has the privilege of being extremely wealthy. She breathes rarefied air, something which 99.999999999% of trans people don't do.
Yeah, and she occasionally helps trans people out. I know, but it's relatively.
That reminds me. That reminds me of my that there used to be this trans woman I know called Rebecca Batty, right? And yet again, Rebecca Batty was relatively wealthy, not in the same league as Caitlyn, but she was well off, okay? And she lived out in Switzerland, and I knew why. It was the dodge for paying income tax here, okay? Right? And she said, yeah, but I take you out for lunch, I buy you drinks. I said, yeah, but I would like you to pay the taxes you should be paying. Right?
Yeah, and Caitlyn Jenner is such a mixed bag, because you have I just popped into her Twitter feed, and one of the first things I see is that the Armenian genocide must never be forgotten. And that's true. She's so all over the place and doesn't seem to have anything to assess what counts as right and what counts as wrong. She doesn't seem to have a real qualification for that.
Well, the other thing
can create contrary viewpoints.
The other thing is, someone has said that she has no political experience, right? And I thought, well, neither did Donald Trump. Well, actually, Donald Trump did have some political experience, as in he knew how to deal with politicians to get, what he wanted, right? But, Caitlyn Jenner certainly doesn't have any, political experience when it comes to executive fucking political decisions. And yet, the kind of governorship of California would require to do that. Okay? I really just think she's doing. I don't think she'll end up as the Republican nomination for governor in California. Yeah. I just think she's just doing this for publicity reasons. I mean, she's been out of the media spotlight for a little while, and believe me, I'm going to say this. I know trans people who've had their 15 minutes, right? Oh, it's like a drug for them. They need the spotlight. They need to be, adored. They need attention. And that's the impression I get from Caitlyn Jenner.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me when it comes to Caitlyn Jenner specifically. Yeah.
Right. So we're going to get into some stuff about, she has said. But before we do, I was trying to get Aria on the show today, but she's unavailable. To talk about Caitlyn Jenner, because she had one of the best. She basically summed up Caitlyn Jenner pretty well. Her assessment's pretty good. So this is taken from last May, an edition of Fluid Voice, and I wonder who that person in the middle is.
Who knows?
Yeah,
Just some rando.
Yeah, with that microphone, which looks like a giant golf ball. Don't
diss the microphone.
And
it makes my voice sound wonderful and pleasing to the ear.
And
not on the microphone though.
and who's that person on the left who looks like they've stayed up way too fucking late? Oh, that's me.
Well, you always look like you stayed up too late.
Yeah.
Just looking at you, I feel like you need more sleep.
Yeah. So yeah, this is when this is the short. This is actually folks. This is the short version of this discussion. Okay, there's another 5-hour version. Yeah, that's right. We were at it for 5 fucking hours.
God damn it!
But anyways,
it's not the more fun conversation with Aria.
Yeah, but we had her back on the Fluid Voice a few months later when she was running for sheriff. But anyways, this is what Aria had to say about Caitlyn Jenner, and I think she was pretty bang on. Maybe Aria could tell us her thoughts on Caitlyn Jenner, because I actually thought that was perfect. She got it bang on.
Fuck Caitlyn Jenner. Basically, Caitlyn Jenner wants to be the Rosa Parks of the trans movement, except she doesn't want to actually get her hands dirty. The thing that sticks out in my mind about Caitlyn Jenner was when the whole trans restroom thing was going on here in the United States, and North Carolina had just made it a law that people could only use the bathroom on their birth certificate or whatever. I don't remember the details of the law. But Donald Trump came out and said, well, I don't care. Anyone who visits my properties can use whatever bathroom they want. And for some reason, Caitlyn Jenner live streams herself going to one of Trump's properties in Las Vegas fucking Nevada, which is already pretty fucking tolerant of weird people. Not to say that trans people are weird, but Caitlyn Jenner is definitely a little weird, and trans people are a bit unusual. But they're not going to catch anyone's radar in Las Vegas because they're used to seeing shit that's out of the ordinary of the average person. So she goes to Trump's Tower in Las Vegas, and she uses the women's restroom, and she posts all over the internet about it like she's some sort of fucking hero for trans people. If she wanted to be a fucking hero for trans people, she would have gone to North Carolina, to one of those bathrooms where it was illegal, and gotten herself arrested. You don't get to be Rosa Parks fighting for the right for people to sit wherever they want on the bus if you're only going to use the bus where you know the bus driver will let you sit wherever you want. And that's exactly what Caitlyn Jenner did. Oh, look at me, I'm fighting for trans rights. You stupid fucking bitch, you're not.
Yeah. That, I think, sums up Caitlyn Jenner pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, I do agree with that. I mean, although she does, like I said, she does the classic rich thing of occasionally tossing money, the way of like one trans person or a trans charity, but like
Now, I said that she posted a message to Donald Trump. This is fucking cringe. Just watch.
Kids, you pick on women or anyone else you think is vulnerable. Apparently, even becoming the Attorney General isn't enough to cure some people of their insecurities. As proof, the Supreme Court will soon hear a very important Title IX case, thanks to the courage of a very brave young man, Gavin Grimm. Mr. President, we'll see you in court. Finally, I have a message for President Trump from, well, one Republican to another. This is a disaster, and you can still fix it. You made a promise to protect the LGBTQ community. Call me.
Why? Oh, shit! Sorry. I hope I don't get a strike for that one. Why, Caitlyn, would Donald Trump call you? He was only ever interested in pandering to his base, and his base think you are a degenerate.
Yeah.
For being trans.
Yeah.
Just shows how fucking naive you are. Okay? So, she did appear on The View to talk about this, funny enough. So, let's go through this.
So, Caitlyn, you recently posted...
Wonderful way to come to work.
Yes,
isn't it something?
You get out here and everybody cheers you. Nobody gets that reception.
No.
You know, you work at the DMV, you go to work, you don't get a reception
People
like that.
sometimes curse you there.
Yes, yes.
Well, I kind of go, yay.
Yeah,
At the DMV because I'm just so glad to get through. Yes, I'm so glad to get to the front of the line. But you recently posted a video offering to sit down with the current gentleman in the White House to talk about LGBTQ rights. Has he taken you up on it yet?
No. No, he's kind of been busy lately. I understand that. But I honestly, I do, it was harder coming out as a Republican than it was coming out as trans in the current environment. And so I do a lot of political things, but I would say 80-90% of it is behind the scenes. I think I really get a lot more accomplished that way. Very rarely do I ever really do anything publicly. So, it's... I'm glad I'm in the position that I'm in because I got a good in with the Republican Party because, as we know, the Democrats do a much better job when it comes to LGBT issues.
They really do.
Oh, that's very big of you to admit that, Caitlyn. Yeah? Very big of you to admit that. Let me tell you, what exactly... that she thought that Trump had said that he would support LGBTQ people. No, what he did was he waved a rainbow flag on stage and people took that, as some sort of message that he supported LGBTQ people. He probably didn't even know what that fucking flag represented.
Well,
some advisor probably said, wave this, it'll make you look good. Right? He probably didn't get it. Okay?
But I mean, the most cringe thing is there's
more fucking there's more fucking chance that Donald Trump would take calls from fucking Lauren Witzke and fucking John Doyle and fucking Dave Rubin or Tim fucking Poll than over you, okay?
Well, yeah, I mean, but even like Whoopi Goldberg asking her, and she's just like, "Nah, he's probably busy, and I get that. He's doing important stuff." And it's like, no. She's barely signing paperwork, and you shouldn't just be excusing someone for not having any desire to learn more about how to defend your rights. If you think that. If you're under the belief that he would, which he wouldn't. I agree with you there.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even take up the phone call. Yeah.
And I know that I'm not stupid, but as far as the Republicans need help, and I'm there to help them.
Yes.
But are you surprised that this president didn't say anything about Pride Month? He's the first president in a long time.
Yeah, no, I have been disappointed in a few ways. I thought he would be a little bit more outspoken when it came to LGBT issues.
He's been pretty outspoken. He has been against it.
Fuck hell.
Fairly outspoken against it.
As I said, she has no grasp of fucking reality.
Yeah, well, I mean, but the dollar bills.
He'll be good for wealthy trans women like you in cutting your taxes. Yeah, that's why you really like it.
For a short period of time. Yeah.
Yeah, but let me tell you something, right? if Trump had been re-elected, you would have had to wear a pink triangle like Ozma and Christie and Aria, in public. Yeah. You would have eventually been put on the cattle trucks and shipped off to the gas chambers, along with every other trans person.
Well, yes, unless certain cities or areas do what they did in.
Of course, Caitlyn Jenner can afford to emigrate. If that was on the cards, she could have probably got out of the country. That's due to the fact she's very, very wealthy. Anyways, onwards.
He was very, as far as the trans side of it, the T portion, he was very open about it at the beginning. Going back to 2012, there was a girl named Jenna Telekova, a trans woman up in Canada, who entered the Miss Universe pageant, and there was this big hullabaloo. Barbara Walters did an interview with her, all of this. Should she be there? And he totally welcomed her and said, if she makes it to the finals, she's here, she's in. It's all good.
Right, okay, let me explain that one, right? It was basically, it gave the Miss Universe whatever beauty fucking meat. I hate beauty pageants. It's objectifying women. Sorry, it really.
Can I say what I was gonna say?
No, hold on. I'm not done. But it's basically, beauty pageants are meat markets, and I fucking hate them. And basically, he did it for publicity reasons. It was good for business. Okay, it raised the profile of that particular beauty pageant, and that's why he did it, not because he supports trans people. Okay, Caitlyn. Yeah, go on. Yeah. What were you going to say?
The thing I wanted to say before I'll continue the video, relating to the pink triangles, is obviously there is always the possibility of like a city doing what they did in that one country, where everyone wears the pink triangle, and they do, making it so that they can't tell. I mean, they did it for the star, but. There is always the possibility that at least one part of America will want to do that.
He mentioned it at the convention, LGBT issues, and got a big applause. And so I thought he'd be a little better.
Sorry, I don't remember that.
A little disappointed. I think it's a lot of the people around him.
Has anyone? Has there been anyone from the administration that you've been able to get in to sit down with at all? If not, the president.
He said the people around him. Well, it's funny because she's hired a former Trump advisor. I don't know if you heard that. Yeah,
I forgot
the name. I forgot the name of the guy, but he was the one who got arrested with in his underwear. Kevin Logan did tell me. So she's saying there was a problem with his advisors when it came to LGBTQ issues, yet she hired one of those former fucking advisors.
Yeah, that's not good.
President himself?
Yes, but I can't talk about it.
Oh, you can't? So it'll be
I try to keep it quiet.
Well, that's good news, though. You have made some progress.
With the Department of Education, I've been everywhere.
Good.
Yeah, I go down.
And you got ignored everywhere as well.
Just like actually this afternoon, I'm at the UN.
Nice.
Which is kind of fun.
Awesome.
Fabulous.
Nikki Haley, I have a meeting with her about LGBT issues worldwide.
Good.
We have our problems here and our issues here, but if you look on an international basis,
it's rough.
They'd chop my head off in some countries.
Yes, they will.
Yeah.
That's right.
And that's
right. That's deflection, which is typical GOP way of dealing with them being not LGBTQ friendly. They always go, yeah, but in Saudi Arabia, if you're LGBTQ, you get your head chopped off. Well, yeah, but it doesn't. Yeah, that's bad, but it doesn't excuse the way LGBTQ people are treated in some states in the United States.
Yeah.
Two wrongs don't make a fucking right.
Legal. That's
And
your
it's legal.
due punishment.
Yeah.
So,
I think what's
So
unfair.
I'm actually looking forward to
I
that.
hope she's going to be open to it, because when she was governor of South Carolina, she had a pretty abysmal record in terms of LGBTQ rights.
She actually did not follow North Carolina when it came to the bathroom issue, when it came to
Oh, good for her. But did she enter into... Good for her. Let's give her a clap for that. Yeah, but she didn't do anything else for fucking LGBTQ people, did she? No, right.
That is true.
She totally avoided it. Stay away. Let North Carolina do their thing.
But she went to court in South Carolina opposing same-sex marriage. She did do that.
I think it's tough for Republicans because their base is so evangelical.
But everybody, the good news is pretty much everybody's come around.
Yeah, let's hope she's moving.
Everyone's come around.
Pretty much everyone's gone around. No, they just can't. They just know they can't win with same-sex marriage laws.
Well, which is why they're now picking on trans people.
Yep.
Okay. Oh.
They need someone to view as lesser.
Another direction.
Well, she actually came out big on.
Did the whole Russia thing, but
yeah, the whole Russia thing. She came out against it.
Yeah,
and
but
that
you know,
was good.
part of that, and we're not going to really get.
All right, so she's okay for having them treated as second class, having. Excuse me. Don't worry, I haven't got anything. So she's okay with LGBTQ people treated as second-class citizens, but she wouldn't kill them. Having them treated as second-class citizens, though not killing them, is still bad.
Get deeply into, but a lot of it, as somebody just said, it has a lot to do with religion.
Yeah.
And how people feel. And so, some of the issues we've seen have been under the guise of religious freedom. So we have to really, I'm hoping that she can take a look at that and recognize that your religious freedom is as important as everybody else's religious freedom. So maybe we should just as a human race say, listen, we are who we are. And just like folks got used to black people hanging out right next door to them and marrying into the family. And, I mean, when I grew up, people
that
like,
never happened in my family.
That's what you think. That's what you think.
Right. So, Caitlyn Jenner is...
By the way, DeVos was the education person and naturally said that, publicly funded voucher maintains it's entitled to deny admissions to LGBTQ students or those coming from families with homosexual or bisexual activity.
Right, yeah. Doesn't sound good, does it? Anyways, so, yes, Tucker Carlson. Now, interestingly, this interview is quite revealing. And this was on the very first Tucker Carlson show on Fox.
Oh, so when he was still dipping his foot into white nationalism, but he hadn't plunged into the depths completely.
Yeah. Anyways, let's have a listen.
Requires no introduction. Tomorrow, Jenner is releasing a new memoir called The Secrets of My Life, which chronicles the long journey from Olympic champion to Kardashian clan member to becoming the world's most famous transgender person. Caitlyn Jenner joins us tonight. Thanks a lot for coming on.
Well, thank you. Nice to be on your show. First day. Let me welcome you. You've been running around. We're trying to find a spot for you. Yes.
Hopefully I'll stay for a while.
Hopefully you'll hear for a while. Yes.
I hope so. So you've been called...
Yeah, he's been there a bit too long. He's evolved into a white nationalist.
Well, I mean, to be fair, he was always a rich Republican, so that was always...
It was probably on the cards wherever he went, but and to be honest, should we expect anything other from Fox News? No.
Oh, courageous a lot. It seems to be one of the braver things you did was voting for Trump while living in Malibu and telling people about it. What did your neighbors and friends say when you did that?
They were fine in Malibu with it, but let's put it this way.
Yeah, because a lot of people in Malibu are rich.
Yeah.
I never actually came out and outwardly supported Trump.
Sorry, did I mishear the last interview? You voted for Trump. right? Okay, maybe you didn't go on the election trail with him, right, stomping for him, but you voted for him. That's supporting Trump. That's the ultimate support for Trump.
Well, she said outwardly supporting him, but I am pretty sure.
Well, she said before the election that Trump would be good for LGBTQ people. Well, but what the fuck does that? That is support for him.
Yeah, that's an outward support.
Yeah.
The media did that for me. I'm on the Republican conservative side.
Right.
And he wound up being our candidate, and so certainly I was going to vote for him. He looked like he would be pretty good on all LGBT issues, which is important.
Yet again, what reality does she live in?
Well, I believe it's the Kardashian reality TV show.
Well, it's the I am extremely rich and money insulates me reality.
Because my loyalties do not lie with Donald Trump. My loyalties do not lie with the Republican Party. Right. My loyalties and what I'm fighting for is my community, the LGBT community in particular.
I'm sorry. She supports its top Republican Party because she would never vote Democrat.
No. Your loyalty is to the LGBTQ community. You oppose same-sex marriage. You think that trans women getting welfare because of prejudice, discrimination, and utter hate that they're still welfare queens. Sorry, Caitlyn. If your loyalty is to the LGBTQ community, you wouldn't have voted for fucking Trump.
The trans issues that are out there, because there are many of them. And so that's where my fight is. And I thought Trump would be pretty good, but he's kind of disappointed me in the first 100 days.
Right.
Well, on those issues.
But I guess what was so striking about it, leaving Donald Trump aside, was that this was an election with Hillary Clinton in it, who is obviously strong on LGBT issues, took a lot of money from LGBT groups. It seems like that would be a no-brainer. Why didn't you vote for her?
Because I'm not a one-issue voter.
No shit. Yeah.
So like, oh, by the way, your loyalty. My caring is LGBTQ rights, LGBT issues. That's what I care about more than the Republican Party. Why didn't you vote for the Democrats who are going to be on LGBTQ issues? Well, I'm not a one-issue person. It's not like
her loyalty,
I want to vote on someone just for LGBTQ rights.
Her loyalty is to her wallet, the size of it. Yeah, that's her loyalty.
Yeah, I believe in limited government. I believe in our Constitution.
Yeah.
I would rather convince the...
Hold on. Did Donald Trump believe in limited government? No. Did he believe in the Constitution? Nope.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. No Republican believes in the Constitution or whatever. The other thing. I had a brain fart there.
The Republican Party to do a better job when it comes to all LGBT issues than to try to convince the Democrats to lower taxes and lower regulations and let our country thrive, financially and economically.
No, that's a really interesting point. And I thought you were going to say that. It's obvious you feel that way or you wouldn't have done it. Isn't there a lot of pressure, though?
She's just revealed, lower taxes, lower regulations. That's her priority.
Yeah, I mean, she clearly, that's her priority above trans people.
Yeah. So, I'm just warning you folks.
She can't say that she can say that, but it's not true.
Well, no, but...
by her actions.
Yeah. Right. What I'm trying to say here is, if she does run for, if she, does go far in this governor's race, I don't think she will, but let's say she does, this is what you're going to get from her, yeah?
Yeah.
You're going to get the typical Republican bullshit. She doesn't give a shit about the LGBTQ community.
You know what's sad? I think Arnold Schwarzenegger might be a better governor than Caitlyn Jenner could be.
Yeah, I mean, Arnie, he's more like sort of the One Nation Tories we have here. And I mean, okay, One Nation Tories are still Tories, but they are better than the hard right. I'll say that. All right, well.
On you specifically to be a one-issue voter, and how do you respond? How do you deal with that?
I totally agree with you. A lot in our community are, and they were very upset that I was a Republican, and I said at the Republican National Convention, I said it was harder to come out as trans than it was to come out as a member of the Republican Party.
Right.
And so, yeah, from that stand, it's been pretty tough. But we have tremendous issues in our community. I talk a lot about it in the book. We have a murder rate that's out of control right now. Already this year, we've had 9 trans women who have been murdered just since the first of the year. We have a suicide rate which is 9 times higher than the general public in the trans community. And I sometimes get very disappointed with Trump, especially when he went up against Title IX and they repealed.
Now, to give her credit, well, I'm going to give Caitlyn Jenner some credit. There was a debate. There was a Channel 4 televised a debate between trans activists and TERFs, right? Back in 2018. I think it was. Yeah, it was. And Caitlyn Jenner was on it. In fact, I know someone who spoke to her that morning. In fact, I do actually know... Well, I know one person who knows her fairly well. Well, I did know them. It was Caroline Cozzi, and me and Caroline don't talk anymore until she apologises to me for being exceptionally offensive about the death of my grandmother. Basically, Caitlyn rang Caroline for advice about this debate show, I think, that morning. There's one other person I know who was working for Microsoft, and their LGBT... This is at Microsoft's headquarters in Seattle, I'd add. And their LGBT group there managed to get Caitlyn to come and give a talk and a Q&A. And this friend of mine did have a question for them. But unfortunately, there was this sort of conservative libertarian trans woman who basically took up all the fucking time. This is the story I heard. But what this friend of mine said was that she felt that Caitlyn was conflicted. That's what she felt, from meeting her, about, the fact she's trans, but she's also a conservative. So I do know people who have known Caitlyn, okay, or who have met Caitlyn and had actually known her. Now, as I said, I would give Caitlyn some credit. I was talking about this Channel 4 debate program. Caitlyn did say on that program that Trump had failed trans people. He actually said that. And funny enough, that actual debate show also Monroe Berghoff was also on it, and I love Monroe. I've met Monroe Berghoff a couple of times. She's lovely. But there was also one person in the audience on that debate show who has a YouTube channel. Yeah, Rose of Moron.
Oh.
Yeah. So anyways, look, as I say, I don't expect much from if Caitlyn goes far in his governor race, I really don't. I don't expect much from her in support of the LGBTQ community.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she supported Trump, and in 2015, Trump dead named her, kept calling her a dude, and was very vocal about being against same-sex marriage. So clearly, those aren't big enough issues because he's willing to tolerate it, lightly tolerate it, even if he will never accept it.
So, Caitlyn Jenner, of course, appeared on The View again. That's an old clip I showed you, but she's appeared on The View last week, and she was misgendered. And she says that she has bigger California has bigger issues than pronouns after being misgendered on The View.
Oh.
Okay, being misgendered isn't having the shit kicked out of you, but
that's true.
It is still insulting and abusive. Okay, and it's an
also, like, you know, this is recent. She got misgendered recently. Caitlyn Jenner started transitioning how many years ago now? Like, what, 10 years ago or something? Like, what the, like, misgendering her now is just cringe if it was repeated. If it was once, that's like whatever. But if it was repeated misgendering, I suppose I didn't. It's not like I saw it, so I don't actually know.
Well, yeah, she was repeatedly has been repeatedly. Yeah, she has been repeatedly misgendered in the media, particularly on things like Fox News. Discussing a turn on politics, the ABC's the co-host Jenner used incorrect pronouns for Jenner 3 times. Yeah, I would imagine, Caitlyn, for any trans woman, it's not nice. Just even for Caitlyn, you see, this is why I would defend Caitlyn against transphobia, and misgendering is transphobia. It's not the worst form of transphobia, but it's still transphobia.
If it's intentional, yeah.
And I've been.
You corrected yourself in the second or third instances, apparently too. And she did apologize, and I would actually, if I were in the same situation as Caitlyn, I would probably accepted the apology too. It doesn't sound like it was malicious.
Yeah, I mean, I have been purposely misgendered in the past. In public,
and that is fucking different.
Yeah, that is abusive. Okay, that's abuse.
Yeah, I had a friend that happened once or a foreign friend, sorry, that happened once at a Taco Bell, and the person just like continued to stir her, and it's just like, I'm just being respectful and constantly saying, like, no, that doesn't apply. Yeah.
Anyways, what does chat have to say about Caitlyn then?
There was a lot of wait. I'm not a one-issue voter. A lot of vocal feelings of cringe. With Caitlyn's driving ability, she's more Rosa Park. That was a good one. And also comparing her to Laura Bush, because apparently Laura Bush also killed someone with her car.
Yeah. Right. Alabama. Yeah. Different day.
Alabama.
Hold on, no, I was going to say different day, same transphobic bullshit. Well, different state, same transphobic bullshit. Because we're seeing the same bill, and it's all coming from one hate group called the Free. Oh God. They're called was it the Freedom Alliance? They're based in Arizona.
Oh,
Freedom Alliance.
yeah.
I'm sorry, I just fucking. Oh God.
Well, I was half expecting it to be America first.
They're all for freedom, other than for trans people. Yeah,
I was half expecting them to go in order.
Yeah,
but that's because I live in America and we've got a song for all the states. So.
Well, yeah, but it's all coming. As I said, it's all coming from all these trans bills are being written by one fucking organisation. Whether it be Alabama, Mississippi, Arkansas, Tennessee, South Dakota, the governor there vetoed the bill, and also vetoed the governor in Kansas also vetoed it. But yet another state, and I would imagine. I mean, okay, so far in the South, Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee. Well, I would imagine one of the Carolinas will probably follow. Florida, Louisiana. Well, actually, I haven't heard anything out of Louisiana. And considering that there is a big LGBT population in New Orleans, I'm wondering. But yeah, the South is getting ever more transphobic. And I know some people say, well, what impact does this really have on the trans community, considering that very few trans people actually compete in sports? Well, look, these bills are excluding trans people from competing in high school sports, right? Thus excluding them from the community, right?
Yeah.
And that has a that has a knock-on effect. It has it gives trans people a stigma, okay? Yeah. And first of all, they'll start with high school sports. Next, it'll be toilets. Again. Eventually, trans people are going to have to find themselves. They're going to be the ones having to sit at the back of the bus and not be able to use the same lunch counter. We are talking. Yeah. This is the slippery slope to the new the trans equivalent to fucking Jim Crow. All right.
Yeah, and it might be a desperate lashing out because of equality rights being brought about.
Now, I have got some good news. Judge Bin's cruel lawsuit trying to ban trans athletes from competing in high school sports. This is in Connecticut. Funny, I haven't heard anything from Caitlyn Jenner about this issue, and you'd think she might have something to say about it, considering she's a former athlete. In fact, she won the gold medal at decathlon.
Yeah, but I mean, she's probably one of the trans people who suggests that there isn't an advantage type shit.
Yeah, so here we are.
Surprise me if Caitlyn Jenner did that.
A U.S. federal judge binned a cruel Connecticut lawsuit that sought to ban trans girls from competing in high school sports on Sunday. Well, as well as that lawsuit being transphobic, it's also sexist, because what about trans men?
Well,
so any targeted trans girls, not trans men. I find that interesting. The 2020 suit saw a band of cisgender students claim that they face unfair competition from two trans teens competing in track and field events alongside them. The plaintiffs sought to scrap guidelines from the state's high school sports regulator, Connecticut oh god, here we go with a word I can't pronounce.
Connecticut Interscholastic Athlete Conference.
Yeah, that permit trans people to correctly compete according to their gender. The suit, once supported by the Trump administration, there's a surprise, saw its presidential backing pulled by Joe Biden earlier this year. Good on Joe. But amid the rolling backdrop of Republican legislators railroading horrific and unnecessary restrictions on trans youth's life, from sports to healthcare, Connecticut District Judge Robert Chattanooga, the judge tossed the lawsuit out altogether.
It was a bullshit lawsuit. They won. I want to say, if I recall correctly, the trans women made it like 3rd and 9th place in the competition or something like that, and it's just like, that's not. That doesn't seem unfair.
In a ruling praised by top advocacy groups, the judge, there was no dispute to even solve anymore. The two trans sprinters, Andrea, can you pronounce that word?
Andrea and Terry.
Andrea and Terry have long since graduated. Moreover, holes were poked in their bid as the plaintiffs struggled to identify other trans female athletes in school districts that supposedly threatened them. A scenario all too common when Republican lawmakers are pressed for why trans bans should be enforced. It's symbolic, as I said. It's trying to stigmatize trans people. Therefore, the judge wrote, the plaintiffs no longer had a personal stake in the lawsuit, and pursuing it nevertheless would require too much speculative evidence. So a little bit of good news, but unfortunately, as I say, it's only going to get worse for the time being in those southern states for trans people. They're going to get persecuted by Republican lawmakers. Sorry, we can only sort of speak up and say this is wrong. I wish I could do more. Honestly, I do. I'm not just saying that. I really wish I could do more. Right, Supergirl star and and real life trans superhero Nicole Maines begs lawmakers to please stop hurting us. She plays that. I forgot the name of the fucking. We'll say it here. But the one who the Dream Girl thingy. Supergirl star Nicole Maines has torn into Republicans for railroading dozens of anti-trans bills this year, pleading, please stop hurting us. Speaking to the Wrap, the 23-year-old explained how frustrating and enraging it is watching the almost debilitating number of anti-trans bans. I'm surprised. It is being bulldozed by mostly Republican-controlled legislators that can restrict trans youth from what sports trans girls can compete. What sports trans girls can compete in, to the healthcare they have available. Trans teens have become a political target for the Republican Party, now scrambling for relevance. And ever more getting extreme in just pandering to their fucking evangelical base. And for Maines herself, herself is trans. She knows such hatred all too well. She was the plaintiff in the landmark case in Maine that was the first to rule that denying a trans student access to the bathrooms is unlawful. Nicole Maines says, please listen to... Well, yeah, exactly. Please listen to us and understand. It is so frustrating and enraging to know what they are, citing a concern for children's safety, and they're citing concerns of child abuse on the floor. Main said, yeah, they want to protect the children, we need to protect the children. Have you ever fucking asked a trans child? No, you fucking haven't, have you?
Yeah.
Right? You're just doing this to get back at Joe Biden, and that's rather pathetic, but at the same time, it's hideous because you are hurting innocent people.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Now, Alan Cummings, I'm trying to think. In America, he's a Scottish actor. I know that he lives out in the States now, but I'm trying to think. What would Americans know him for best? He was in that series, The Good Wife. I remember. It's funny. He still lives out. He lives out in the States now, and I think he now does have dual nationality. Yet he supports the Scottish National Party. So he's doing it at Sean Connery. Alan Cummings says
it's fun.
It louder says it louder for bigots at the back. Being trans is not a fad. No, it fucking isn't. I've heard that one. I've heard it. Basically when I was a kid, I was I was told, oh, you'll grow out it. It's just a phase. It's just a phase.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's been a lifelong fucking phase.
Yeah.
Alan Cumming has delivered a plea for trans equality, suggesting that transphobia is often a simple fear of the unknown. Yeah, I'd agree with that. In an article written in the Times, that surprises me. The Times has been pretty transphobic over recent years. That's the Times of London for folk in America, not the New York Times. The bisexual actor said transphobia and homophobia often melt away when people are exposed to LGBT plus community. Yeah, exactly. Alan Cumming said he is perplexed by the discussion surrounding phobias, pointing out that the archetype...
An arachnophobe is usually afraid of spiders, but doesn't necessarily hate them.
Yeah. But then, of course, there are homophobes and transphobes. It is always assumed that they hate, not merely fear, gay or trans people. Cumming wrote, we are living in a turbulent times, and one of the biggest changes to our social equilibrium in the past few decades has been the shift to how queer people are perceived and treated in our society. Marriage equality, once unimaginable and abhorrent to many, is now commonplace. As a queer man, it is not the legal rights of celebration and happiness I've enjoyed. It is not the legal rights of celebration and happiness I have enjoyed because of... That doesn't make sense.
Well, that's a weird thing. Okay, so as a queer man, it is not the legal rights of celebration and happiness that I've enjoyed because of this, which I find most gratifying. It's a weird sentence.
Yeah.
He continued, rather, it's the confirmation that when people are exposed to and begin to understand something they were previously ignorant of and felt threatened by, they stop being afraid and aggressive. They have lost their phobia. It wasn't hatred after all, just a fear of the unknown.
Alan Cumming reminded transphobes that being trans is not a fad. Cumming said that many scoff when they hear about political figures in Chechnya or Malaysia making anti-gay comments, but suggested that though some people are tolerant of transphobic comments in their own countries, alluding to the anti-trans trope that being trans is a passing fad. Cumming said, to anyone who thinks this way, I thank you for your concern, but I ask you to consider that maybe trans people seem to be more common these days because for the first time the climate makes them feel safe to come out and present in a way they feel is their best selves. I would also say it's not the best selves; it's the true self, right? Rights aren't.
Yeah, although I'm not a huge fan of that site necessarily.
Rights aren't like cake. Someone else getting some on. Rights aren't cake. Someone else getting some honest means you have any less. Yeah, right. I know where he's going with this one. The actor went to explain that trans people have always existed, but they haven't always been allowed to be visible. He also hit out at those who mock people's pronouns, adding, "We all want equality, don't we? We should all have equal respect, equal pay, and equal rights." Cumming wrote, "But rights aren't like cake. Someone else getting some honest mean you have any less." Yeah, I would, basically what he's referring to there is the one that TERFs sort of say that trans rights are basically eroding women's rights.
Yeah,
that's what he's referring to there. I don't know, I can't understand that sentence, but anyways, now I actually thought Biden had already done this. I'm sure we talked about it a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I could swear maybe it hadn't completely been.
Yeah, should I explain? Sorry, I have to remind myself that we're going to be doing an audio version of this, and I forgot to say what it is.
Yeah.
Biden administration reverses Trump's ban on rainbow flags at embassies. I already thought he had already done this. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken. I'll tell you what, I'm going to put the fucking reader on. It's just fucking easier.
All right, I could read this. Sorry.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken told American embassies and diplomatic missions that they can fly the pride flag again, as well as other symbols connoting support for LGBTQ rights based on what is appropriate in light of local conditions. It's a reversal of the Trump administration's ban on embassies flying the rainbow flag that even resulted in former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo to force the U.S. Embassy in Seoul, South Korea to take down its pride flag.
Yeah,
Oh, he was going to. So he said that was on his list of things he was going to do.
Right. So, well, he's done it. Good. And this is important. Let me tell you why. Because if USM, to explain to people, right, an embassy, so if you say like the US Embassy in London is actually American territory. Right? Okay? Do you understand that? Okay? So, basically, US embassies in countries which have poor LGBTQ rights or are persecuting LGBTQ people outright, if a US embassy basically puts up a pride flag that is a way of promoting LGBT rights and equality. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay? That's why it's important. And Biden has said that he wants the spread of LGBTQ rights to be part of US foreign policy. Okay? Which was nice to hear. So, obviously we welcome this. There's another piece of good news. Already done that one. I don't know why that's there. But anyways, so you remember we were talking about this last week? We went through this. And I remember you went off to fight because basically because the LGBT Alliance have got charitable status, basically they're going to have them in their ways in not promoting hate towards trans people. And you went and checked their Twitter feed, and well, guess what? They're still promoting hate against trans people.
Yeah.
But it's not just hate against trans people. I forgot to show you this on Friday. This is from their Twitter feed.
Yeah.
Yeah. To those people saying it is homophobic not to be in favour of gay marriage, have a look at the statistics. It seems it's rather a small minority who have made their wedding vows. This is a really important point in our historical gay and lesbian rights movement. We never demand that a society change its laws, its activities, and its language to accommodate us. We have never cursed people who disagree with us or tried to get them fired. We always build bridges. No, you do demand your fucking rights, and you do demand equality. You know, the LGBTQ civil rights movement was kicked off by the fucking Stonewall riots, and basically, we know this, that the LGB Alliance is a fucking front for the far right. Why is it? You know, it doesn't surprise me that they don't support same-sex marriage. So as well as being transphobic, they're also homophobic. Someone told me actually they put. I can't be bothered. I couldn't be bothered to troll through all their shit on Twitter. But someone said that they've also been promoting biphobia as well.
Oh, so, that would not surprise me. They have very much been LGB Alliance minus the G and B and also the L. If we don't like that particular lesbian.
I mean, look, the LGB Alliance is a hate group. They were granted charitable status last week, so I expect this week that the Ku Klux Klan will be getting charitable status in this country. I mean, after all, you know, if the LGB Alliance can promote cis supremacy, then why shouldn't be counted as a charity? Why can't the Ku Klux Klan be able to, you know, spread white supremacy and be, you know, granted charitable status? Fucking hell.
Well, I mean, you do have what was that? Britain First is the political party. That's close.
Right, the DUP have been at it again. Yes, that's the Democratic. That's the Ulster bigoted party. So, 2 DUP representatives have been heavily criticised by LGBT plus activists after they sent condescending and disrespectful responses to campaigners pushing for a full ban on conversion therapy.
I will have to say something important. Kevin Logan says, Botha. All right, but fuck. Why am I trying to do like a weird? Whatever. It's your last name with lots of A's.
Botha. Is Kevin in Kevin is in the chat. Right. Yeah. Cool. Thanks for joining us, Kevin. Is Kevin going to spell penis? That's why every time he's turned up in chat, he's done that. I don't mind him. Kevin's a good bloke. So yeah, last Tuesday, the Northern Irish Assembly debated a motion calling for conversion therapy to be banned in Northern Ireland. An overwhelming majority voted in favour, with the Democratic bigoted party the only major political party to vote against it. Well, they are, you know, Christian dipshits and fundamentalist Christian dipshits. I need to correct myself. Who, you know, really seem to be stuck in the 1950s. In the days before the debate, the Anti-Conversion Therapy Coalition urged its members to email members of I forgot what MLA stands for. But anyways, members of the Northern Irish Assembly, encouraging them to vote in favour of the motion, which was put forward by the Ulster Unionist Party, Representative Doug Beetle and John Stewart. But members of the Anti-Conversion Therapy Coalition were disappointed when they received insensitive responses from the from Ulster Bigoted Party members of the Northern Irish Assembly. Hidditch and Tom Buchanan. In response, Buchanan claimed Beetle's motion calling for a conversion therapy ban fails to provide protection for Christian ministers and pastors of the gospel who set forth the way of the eternal life for all people through faith and repentance in the Lord Jesus Christ as their Saviour.
What? That is the most bizarre non sequitur.
Well, basically, they think that some supernatural fucking despot could still should still be used to fucking bully people to live the way they ought to think people should live, because really, they're insecure about their fucking sexuality. Okay.
Well, and more likely it's because the thing banned people from, doing pray the gay away type camps, I'm sure.
Well, yeah. Can I just point out to members of the Ulster Bigoted Party that God ain't real. LGBTQ people are. Buchanan continued, through Adam's disobedience in the Garden of Eden, the Bible reminds us that all have sinned and come short of the glory of God, and that we all require spiritual conversion through faith.
So I've got a lot.
So basically,
I've got a lot to say about this.
This guy is basically an evangelical Christian nutcase.
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah. So for one, that includes all have sinned includes pastors and whatnot. And the other thing is obviously Christ isn't mentioned in the Torah or Tanakh. So it really has more to do with, and Jesus was Jewish, so
and
he never renounced his Judaism.
And Jesus was a hippie.
Yeah.
The motion. Sorry, hold on. The motion clearly calls for for conversion therapy to be banned in all its forms, which would criminalise these ministers and pastors, who obviously are the people who donate to these people's campaigns. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. I therefore, the Ulster Bigoted Party amendment provides both this clarity and protection, and see no reason why all members could not support it. Well, because you can't have fucking exemptions, because there will be Christian fucking fundamentalists still trying to fucking torture LGBTQ people for being LGBTQ. And you can't help being LGBTQ. But guess what? Drum roll, you can help being an evangelical Christian nut.
Yeah, you can be Christian without following these beliefs which go against
even
the Bible, the Torah, the Tanakh.
Well, even
pretty much anything.
Yeah, even fundamentalist Christians fucking cherry pick what they want from the fucking Bible. Meanwhile, a representative,
and not the good stuff either.
Yeah. Meanwhile, a representative from Hiddix wrote a lengthy response to it. Oh, fuck it. I'm going to put the reader on.
Meanwhile, a representative from
All right.
No, I lost it. Meanwhile, a representative from...
Yeah, I've lost it now.
There we go. Wait, up a little bit more. Up a little bit more. Meanwhile, a representative from Hilditch wrote a lengthy response to an ACTC member claiming that the motion, if passed, would impact on freedom of religion.
No, it would impact on freedom to hate.
As you say, conversion therapy is conversion therapy, regardless of how it's being carried out or which organization or individual is carrying it out. Hilditch's representative wrote, the amendment motion is not challenging that. Likewise, though, activities that aren't conversion therapy are still not conversion therapy, regardless of the who, or the how, who, and or when details. Church prayer, that's not conversion therapy. Worship, nope, not conversion therapy either. Nativity plays?
What the fuck does nativity?
No, no conversion therapy there.
Hold on, what does
union? Unless there's something coercive, suppressive, and homophobic about a snifter of Sunday morning wine and nibble of bread, then that's not conversion therapy.
Well, the nativity fucking play ain't fucking conversion therapy. What the fuck does that have to do with anything?
The letter concluded David can't offer any assurances that he or his party colleagues will vote against the checks note
by the Ulster bigoted party.
Yeah, amendment to the motion. However, in its amended form, he and they believe it does indeed ban conversion therapy in all its forms, and thus provides improved protection for the LGBTQIA+ community in Northern Ireland. The ACTC told Pink News that it was extremely disappointed at the responses received from both Buchanan and Hilditch. ACTC are very disappointed in how condescending and disrespectful the emails sent to our members were, a spokesperson for the campaign group said. This is a sensitive issue, and these emails were extremely insensitive and making light of the issue. Views on the motion aside, it was a disgrace to the way they spoke to people that reacted out to them. Or I assume that was a misspelling of breach. The group went on to accuse the DUP of
the Ulster bigoted party
of trying to distract from the issue at hand by claiming religious freedom is under attack.
It's not.
We don't want...
It's not. Yeah, look, you can pray to whatever fucking god you fucking want. We're just saying that you can't use, that god as a shield for fucking homophobic hate. Anyways, little out of date because, Northern Ireland conversion therapy ban wins overwhelming support in symbolic Stormont vote. The Northern Ireland Island Assembly has voted. Oh, I know. The Northern Ireland Assembly has voted overwhelmingly in favour of a motion calling for the cruel, torturous practice of conversion therapy to be banned. The motion passed by 59 to 24 votes, with all major political parties other than the ultra-conservative Ulster bigoted party voting in favour. Members of the Northern Irish Assembly voted in a motion on Tuesday afternoon following a tense debate which saw elected representatives from across the political spectrum speak on the urgent need for conversion therapy to be banned in Northern Ireland. The Assembly's motion recognises that that conversion therapy is a harmful practice that damages the mental health of those who are subjected to it. Well, generally religion does that. Though non-binding advocates hope the resounding vote in favour will give a clear mandate to the community's minister to pursue a rigorous and extensive conversion therapy ban. The outcome of today's Assembly debate is a positive one, and we're pleased that such cross-party support exists to ban conversion therapy. Aisling Twani, policy and advocacy manager at the Rainbow Project, one of the members of ban conversion therapy Northern Ireland campaign group. We now, sorry if I've murdered their name, I apologise. We now need to see work underway to pace
pace to bring. Oh, sorry.
Go on then.
We now need to see work get underway at pace to bring forward legislation before the end of the current assembly term to ensure conversion practices are banned without delay. We look forward to working with the minister to deliver today's mandate from the assembly in a fair and robust way, Twomey added. The Ulster Bigoted Party.
No. It's the Ulster Bigoted Party!
Tried to undermine Northern Ireland conversion therapy motion. Before passing the motion, MLAs voted down a controversial DUP amendment, which would have removed a line stating that it is fundamentally wrong to view our LGBTQ community as requiring a fix or cure. Campaign group Ban Conversion Therapy Northern Ireland criticized the
Ulster Bigoted Party
for trying to undermine the motion and said the party's amendment was poorly judged. Dr. Andrew Cunning.
Well, that's the important bit. Okay.
Okay.
So, and this by the way, this puts the government, the UK government at Westminster to shame, because they're still dragging their still dragging their feet in banning conversion therapy, and we've covered this. Basically, they want this exemption and that exemption and this exemption, and it was like, well, it's not even worth the paper it's fucking written on. And it seems to me that eventually nothing's going to get done. I mean, I put it into context. It's obviously that there's been reports coming out that Boris Johnson's attitude to COVID-19 was that the bodies pile up. That was his attitude. So, if he doesn't care about, thousands of people dying from COVID-19, do you really think he gives a shit about LGBTQ equality? No.
Yeah.
Oh, right, yeah. So, Eileen Foster to meet LGBT groups after vowing to block full conversion therapy ban. So, Northern Ireland's First Minister, Eileen Foster, is expected to meet with LGBT plus groups in coming weeks. It has been confirmed. The thing is, do they really want to meet her? I mean, she wants to deny LGBT plus people equal rights. Well, I guess they've got to, haven't they? They've got to try and lobby.
Yeah, I mean, it's better for there to be a meeting than
she's a Christian.
For them to just ignore.
She's a Christian fundamentalist nutcase. I just really don't think that. Who doesn't like being called homophobic, by the way? She gets tetchy about that. Well, my darling, what you need to do is stop being a Christian fundamentalist nutcase who denies LGBT plus people, equal rights. Then you won't be called homophobic. The Northern Irish.
Well, admittedly, it doesn't take Christian nutcase, as we've seen with Richard Dawkins and, what's the other? The neurosurgeon, the former
Jordan Peterson.
No, I wasn't thinking of that because I always assumed Jordan.
No, it wasn't. No, Jordan Peterson wasn't a neurosurgeon. Sam Harris.
Yeah, Sam Harris.
Yeah, the Northern Ireland Executive Office confirmed the news on Thursday. It will mark the first time a Stormont minister has met with LGBT plus organisations. Well, I guess that's a step forward. Foster will be joined in the meetings by Deputy First Minister Michelle O'Neill. Foster's Ulster bigoted party has faced sharp criticism from LGBT plus community in Northern Ireland in recent days after it pushed back against a motion calling conversion therapy to be banned in the Northern Irish Assembly. There was significant controversy last week when the Ulster bigoted party proposed an amendment to Doug Beatle and John Stewart's motion on conversion therapy.
Are all John Stewart's good people and activists? Is that what I'm hearing?
Right, my throat's getting a bit sore, so I'm not going to do it again.
The Ulster bigoted party.
Yeah, asked that a line be removed, which declared that it is fundamentally wrong to view our LGBT plus community as requiring. You see that there, right? The fact is that they think that LGBT plus people need to be cured. That is fucking backwards. The Ulster bigoted party. And you can tell my I don't.
It's the same problem with the applied behavioral analysis when it comes to autism stuff, because that's also there to fix the autism.
On Wednesday, a campaign group.
I can read if your voice sore.
No, I just can't do the Ulster bigoted party thing.
Oh, okay. I'll try to do it. How do you say the first word?
Ulster.
Ulster.
Yeah.
So the Ulster bigoted party.
That's almost right. That's pretty good actually. Yeah. On Wednesday, campaign group Ban Conversion Therapy said it reached out to the
Ulster bigoted party
for the 14th of April in an effort to meet with members of the Northern Irish Assembly ahead of the conversion therapy debate. The group said it did this in good faith so that they could explain the importance of the ban on conversion practices in every setting in which they happen. However, the ban conversion therapy Northern Ireland said it never received a response from the
Ulster bigoted party. I can see how this destroyed your throat.
The group went on to meet the four of the five political parties in the Assembly: the Alliance Party, who are pro-LGBTQ; the SDLP, who are pro-LGBTQ; Sinn Féin, who are pro-LGBTQ; the Ulster Unionist Party. Well, it was actually a motion from two Ulster Unionist Party members of the Northern Irish Assembly who put this forward. The Ulster Unionist Party, to explain to America, the DUP are kind of like the extreme Unionist Party, right? The Ulster the Ulster Unionist Party, they're sort of the moderate version, I guess. They used to be the more dominant party, but the DUP succeeded them. Arlene Foster wrote on Twitter on Wednesday evening that her party will not support a ban unless it includes safeguards for churches. Oh, right, safeguards for fucking religious nuts to fucking, to basically go around saying that there's something wrong with you if you're fucking gay. I'll just fuck off, right?
Yeah.
Arlene Foster, you know, you don't like being called homophobic. Well, stop being fucking homophobic and we won't call you homophobic. There you are. So, Cambridge University threatens to evict students for hanging pride flags and climate posters in their windows. What the fuck? Yeah, I know. Cambridge University College has threatened students with eviction if they refuse to remove flags, including LGBT plus pride flags, from their windows. Jesus College ordered students to take down...
well, that might have been the first problem, the college name.
Well, yeah. Ordered students to take down all flags left hanging in or outside college properties after LGBT plus History Month in March. No, LGBT plus History Month is actually in February, but the warning also applies to other decorations, including Labour, criminal justice posters, but
climate justice.
Sorry, climate justice. But LGBT plus flags and banners were specifically singled out. Students are ordinarily prohibited from flying any flags for safety and maintenance reasons, but this rule was waived for March. However, the abruptness has described as leaving students a sour taste in their mouths. Sorry, whatever. Yeah, basically, LGBT plus students are not happy with this, and I don't blame them.
Well, yeah. Especially, being targeted.
Well, I mean, places like Oxford and Cambridge University are the sort of equivalent to the Ivy League universities in America. Very stuffy, right?
Yeah.
Talking of flags, I know this story was a few weeks ago, but heartbreaking bully destroying a school pride flag to cheers prompts defiant response from students. Yeah, this was in Utah.
Yeah.
Now, yeah, if you notice, they take down the pride flag, right? But what was curious is, do you know what that flag is there? The one with a star?
Puerto Rico? No.
Cuba.
Okay.
Now, considering the amount of animosity there is towards the regime in Cuba from the United States, I was surprised that that was actually flying at all.
Well, I think they were flying like all the country flags were the default.
Yeah. Students and alumni gathered with pride flags after a heartbreaking incident that saw a student cut down a Progress Pride banner to cheers in the area halls of Ridgeline High School in
there is a video of it.
Yeah, but I was just about to say, if you're wondering where in the States this happened, it happened in Utah.
Yeah.
Bring the flag up! Yeah! The thing, but they did counter. The students did count. Some students did counter this by basically parading with pride flags. Okay.
Also, I think if I recall it correctly, that student may be facing expulsion.
Yeah.
For that.
But of course, if Trump was in office, he'll get the Presidential Medal of Freedom, wouldn't he? Yeah. Right. Got some sad news here. Sort of sad news. So, Trans Pride Brighton are not having an actual event in the streets this year. They are having an online event like they did last year. On the 17th of July. I really love Trans Pride Brighton. I was at the inaugural Trans Pride Brighton, right?
Nice.
Back in 2013. There were less than 10 of us on the fucking march that day. Do you know in 2019 how many people were on the march, on the parade?
Off the top of my head, if I had to guess, 3,000?
10,000.
Okay.
Yeah, that's in 6 years. And I've been to every single Trans Pride as well. It's one of my highlights of the year. I always enjoy it. Unfortunately, I did take my now fiance there 1 year. She didn't really enjoy it because it's more of sort of activist focused stuff. And yeah, my fiance Kim, she does have, you know, political opinions, but she's not an activist. Okay. So, anyways, we left early, and we were sitting outside a pub in Brighton. And I mean, I admit it was a very, very hot day. That was the other reason we had to leave, because there was no fucking shade. I mean, it was like 35 degrees. Okay. Celsius, yeah. 2018 was one of the hottest summers on record. Anyway, so we're sitting outside a pub in Brighton, and all of a sudden this bloke comes out of the pub, and he goes up to Kim and goes, "Oh, you're Kim Justice." And he turned to me and he went, "You're Sophia." And I went, "Yeah." Basically, this had nothing to do with trans pride at all. Basically, he knew her from YouTube. And I asked her, "Does that happen often?" And she said, "Well, it does happen now and again, yeah." So that might happen to me sooner or later. If this channel grows, please subscribe.
I, on the other hand, will likely remain a mystery, shadowed in the darkness.
Now, London. So Brighton Trans Pride is off, but London Trans Pride has announced it is holding an event. London Trans Pride has announced that a peaceful protest will go ahead this year in the capital with a June date. Now, this is significant because June is Pride Month. The larger Pride in London, as in the LGBTQ Pride, is going ahead. Well, it's scheduled for the 11th of September, of all the days. So it's due to go ahead on the 26th of June, and it's for trans and intersex. Why not non-binary people?
Well, I mean, not all trans technically includes non-binary trans people.
Organisers,
or at the very least, it's supposed to.
Yeah. So they're going ahead. Please do support things like this. I will try and get there myself, because by this point lockdown should be over, so it'll be safe, okay, or relatively safe, okay. I will definitely try to get to this. I kind of like the fact that you know, Brighton Trans Pride was like the first in this country, okay. To, you know, and now that there are other cities following, so you know, this is a good thing. Please do support it. Right, before we go, just going to bring something up. So me and Ozma are having a bit of a chat before the show, and she wants to possibly do an extra show. Was it Thursday?
Yeah, because I mean that's the day you have open for that sort of thing.
Well, I have tomorrow and Thursday open, so you can have the choice of either of those.
I mean, I like the show on Thursday because that's when you scheduled before, but
you feel I need to be pulled up on a few little things, don't you?
Yeah.
Well, I don't mind.
And we can have a scrappy one-on-one, and
well, we did have a bit.
No. I think you're a good person. I think you care, and I think this is just one of those things where, yeah, it's, you'll see.
Right.
It's because I'm like closer to the type of person that gets criticized for. I was gonna call myself an SJW type, but like I'm tired. That's probably why. I don't know why I'm tired. I mean, I did only get 6 hours of sleep, so maybe I
only 6 hours. I only got 4.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm not as tired as you. I can never be as tired as you.
Yeah.
I'm not capable of that.
Well, I don't mind as long as you're not going to suddenly announce, I'm not doing this show with you anymore because you said that.
Oh no, fuck no. It would take a lot more, and it would take a lot of progression of upsetness, like upsetting things that like, and nothing like, it would take a lot more. And also, I know you care about stuff, and you want to do the right thing, and the disagreement relates to the assumption that one or both of us can change, because because what ultimately is important is trying to reach for our goals, whatever they are.
Yeah. Oh, hi, Freya. I see Freya's in the chat. Hey, Freya, can you message me on Twitter? I won't say too much, but possibly tomorrow afternoon. I'll say that to you. I think you'll know what that's about. Okay. Right. Well, we've drawn to a close. Yes, we're drawing to a close another edition of Botha Rants. Right, Ozma, do you want to tell people where they can find you?
Well,
the links are
have to take a visit to Calgary to do some research, but until then, you can find me at OzmaInTheDark.com. You can find me on The Fluid Voice. That's where I am most often. I totally am blanking on who we have coming up this Sunday. We do have a guest this Sunday. Kevin Logan talked with her not too long ago.
Oh, it's not Chaos, it's Mel, is it?
What?
It's not Chaos, it's Mel. All right. You're probably too small for her.
Yeah.
I mean, she's only interested in people who have tens of thousands of subscribers. Because she's
someone who was reasonable and intelligent.
Oh, I think I know that person. I forgot their name as well. But anyways, no. All right, sorry. I know some people go, you got a real chip in your shoulder about Chaos or Smell. Why don't you dick me around? All right? So I get to bitch about it, all right?
Sister Rose.
Oh, the Irish lady. Yeah, can I come on? I liked her.
I'm not sure. It depends. Like, I don't fucking know.
I liked her.
My brain hasn't worked through topic stuff.
Oh, no, actually I can't. I can't. I actually can't come on anyways. I just thought, why? No, I can't come on anyway, so. But I'll tell you what, if you want a discussion about... when you get round to talking about Caitlyn Jenner on The Fluid Voice, I will come on. And of course, if you ever have Kevin back on, or Dusty back on, or Aria back on, I'll come back on. All right?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Enough of that. Right. If you like this video, give it a like. And thank you for everyone who does that. Actually, before you even started, I got 3 likes. It's really lovely that people are doing that now. Thank you. It is much appreciated.
It's really nice.
Please do share this video if you like what we have to say. And if you've got any feedback, well, drop us a comment down below. And most important of all, please subscribe, and please tell your friends to subscribe. And thank you to all the new subscribers there has been. It is much appreciated. I do. I do genuinely, appreciate it. You are really helping, help grow this channel, and I will remember you. Right.
Yeah.
Depending on a few things, I might be back tomorrow. There's a few videos I want to respond to concerning India Willoughby. As I've explained before, I did do a video when I started this channel, sort of soon after I started this channel up, and I made a big boo-boo in that video and I had to pull it. So I need to redo that because India Willoughby is, well, let's just say she's not helpful to trans people.
Yeah.
As I said, I won't be around on Wednesday. It is my birthday. You can wish me happy birthday on Twitter or Facebook or whatever else.
And in case I forget, I'll happy birthday in case I forget on the day, which hopefully I won't.
Do you know I share my birthday with Oscar Schindler?
No, but that's fucking awesome.
Yeah. All right. Well, actually, you're invited to the Zoom party. I did send you an invite.
Oh, did you? Oh, fuck.
It's all right. I'll be posting.
I'm like waking up.
I'll be posting. I'll be posting the link on my page anyway, so you'll be able to join in. Okay, well, folks, until Friday, possibly. As I said, Thursday. Definitely, we will definitely be back Thursday when Ozma gets to roast me. And we'll be back with Sophia. We'll be back with Botha. I forgot the title of this fucking show. We'll be back with Botha Rants on Friday. In the meantime, take care of yourselves. Stay safe.
Yeah, you too, Sophia. Take care of yourself. Get good sleep.
Yeah. Well, peace out.
Bye.